Welcome to this training on administering Windows Server 2012, which also acts as a preparation for Microsoft Exam 70-411. My name is John Saville, and just to give you a brief background, I was an 11-time Microsoft MVP, and I've been running the Windows FAQ or ntfaq.com for nearly 20 years now. I'm a senior contributing editor for Windows IT Pro magazine, and I've written 5 books on Windows, my latest being the Microsoft Virtualization Secrets book. I speak at most of the major events, including TechEd, Windows Connection, Virtualization Pro, and really in all my time, I focus on communicating and explaining technologies to a broad audience. So over the years, I've really worked out the best ways to transfer fairly complicated concepts in an easy to understand manner. You can follow the work I'm doing on my blog at savilletech.com/blog, and I also post a number of technology videos on YouTube on my channel NT Fat Guy. One of the things I really want to stress is I have been using these technologies for a very long time. I remember getting my MCSE way back for Windows NT 4, and those first exams all those years back. And obviously most recently I took all of the exams related to the Windows Server 2012 MCSE and the private cloud. Now, what I want to draw your attention to here is I took all these exams during the beta phase. I didn't know the syllabus. I didn't study for any of these exams. I just turned up and I took the exams. And I passed all of them on the first time. You'll notice for the MCSE, I took both the exams back to back on the same day. And the key thing is, and what these exams really test, is your understanding of the technology, your ability to use it, your ability to understand when it should be used. And so my goal in this training is not to teach you only what you need to pass the exam. I don't find that useful. My goal is to transfer to you the skills that will enable you to just really, as a side effect, pass the exam. You're going to understand the technologies, understand how they should be used, understand how you would architect a solution, which happens to include all of the things you would be tested on as part of the 70-411 exam. But the key point to be successful is to try everything I talk about. Every technology I cover, you need to try in your own lab environment. You need to try different ways, so go beyond what I cover. Try the commands using the graphical interface, using PowerShell, using the command line. Think of new scenarios you would like to try out and work out how you would achieve those. By understanding the technologies, you really will pass the exams easily. So the goals of this training is really to cover the foundational skills to enable that administration of Windows Server 2012. Most important of which initially is deploying the operating system. So going to dive into Windows Deployment Services, what it is, how you can use it, some of the pros and the cons of the technology. And then once you've deployed an operating system, well, how do we maintain it? How do we keep it patched? So we're going to look at Windows Software Update Services. Going to build on that fundamental deployment of an operating system and look at advanced file service management. So going beyond just creating a share, but really controlling how space can be used, how much can be used, protecting the data, and reporting on its usage, and even curing your compliance problems using file classification infrastructure. We're going to look at some of the advanced DNS configurations, including advanced DNS troubleshooting, and also building on Active Directory, especially virtualization of domain controllers, how we can clone domain controllers, and some of the key new features in Windows Server 2012, such as group managed service accounts, and the new Active Directory Administrative Center that exposes a new graphical management capability for technologies such as the recycle bin and fine-grained password policies. Going to move on to actually creating your own group policy templates. So this is going to enable you to go beyond just the settings that are enabled in the Microsoft supplied templates and create your own templates for really anything you need in your environment. Then going to move on to advanced networking concepts. And again, the whole goal of 70-411 and these skills is to go beyond just the basics. Look at technologies such as creating advanced virtual private networks, VPNs, implementing direct access, the Windows 2008 R2 introduced technology that enables a seamless connection between a client on the internet and your corporate infrastructure without any end user manual steps required. And best of all, if that client's on the internet, you can manage them regardless if they're trying to actually access a corporate resource. And then going to close on monitoring Windows Server 2012. Some of the tools inherent in the operating system to actually enable monitoring its performance, monitoring what's actually happening on the operating system via the event logs, and even tracing the network. I'm also going to touch on some of the special considerations if you're using virtualization, and specifically Hyper-V. So the content I just talked about are the key skills really any Windows Server 2012 administrator needs. Managing file services, deploying servers, patching them, managing advanced Active Directory and networking. And all of that, once you understand that, once you've tried it in your lab environment, that's all the key skills you're going to need to pass exam 7411, which is one of the 3 exams to get the Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate for Windows Server 2012, which is a step towards the MCSE for Windows Server 2012. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to try all the exercises out. As I talk about a technology, as I show you examples, try those in your own lab environment. If you don't have a large lab, you don't need it. Windows 8 actually contains Hyper-V technology, so a machine with 8 GB of RAM, enable the Hyper-V role, and you can spin up various servers throughout this training to test all of these concepts out.